Hi YouTube, my name is Dawn and welcome to my channel. So I started this channel for two reasons. One is because as an American living in London, I thought it'd be a great way to share my experiences to anyone who's looking to move to a different country or even go to study and experience a different culture. So as an American in London, I thought I would share my experiences with you guys. Maybe you feel like they're helpful or interesting and help you make a decision as to if and or when you would like to make the big leap. Second is to help anyone who lives in a small space. Living in London, space is a premium. I wanted to make a channel that would provide tips and tricks on how to maximize your space and make your cozy cove, your own. Just because you live in a small space, you shouldn't have to compromise on style and functionality. So first, I wanted to kind of give my rundown of some of the top things I had to get adjusted to living in London. The first one is the culture. British culture is quite different than American culture. More different than I thought. Yes, we speak the same language for the most part. There are a few words that are quite different, like boot and bonnet, which a boot is the trunk of the car, bonnet is the hood of the car, or lift we call elevator, or the loo, which we call the restroom, or they just simply say toilet. I know I hear this time and time again. The British are reserved, but what exactly does that mean? So there's a lot of thank you, cheers, pardon me, excuse me, I'm sorry when you bump into someone. Also, one thing that I have noticed is, so I've been here 6 years now, and I cannot say that I have an actual British friend. I don't mean someone that I can go out for a drink with after work who works in the same office. I mean someone who will invite me over to their house, meet their family, hang out, go on trips together, something like that. The British, not only are they reserved in their behavior, but they're also reserved when it comes to relationships as well. Just something to be made aware of. So if you feel like you're being left out, or, don't take it personal, basically is what I'm saying. That's not always the case, but that has been my experience, and that's pretty much all I can speak from. One of the other things you have to get used to is taking public transportation. Now for me, I like this one because you save a lot of money on maintenance, gas, insurance, all those extras. People gripe about some trains being delayed. In the grand scheme of things, I think it's useful and efficient. So one thing I will tell you too about the tube is when you get on in the morning and it's jam-packed, it's so quiet. Everyone either has their headphones in, they're reading a book, or just dazing into space. But it is so quiet. No one talks to each other. There's no like friendly chit chat or hey, good morning, how are you? None of that. Another thing about the underground is that it travels all throughout London. I don't know how many zones there are. There are quite a few zones, maybe 8 or 9. I don't know. So central London is zone 1, and zone 2 is, a little bit out, like Heathrow Airport is in zone 6, so that just tells you how far away Heathrow Airport is from zone 1. So obviously the further out you travel, the more expensive it's going to get. You also have overground trains that take you all throughout the UK and also throughout Europe. So you can take a train to Amsterdam, Belgium, and also to parts of France as well. Another thing about living in the UK is you get free healthcare. Now, free indirectly, right? Because you do pay for it through taxes. Well, if you're a student, maybe with your student fees, some of that goes in there. But when you're working, there is a sizable chunk of your paycheck that goes towards healthcare. But whenever you're sick, you don't have to worry about a copay. You don't have to worry about paying for any type of surgeries. You go, you register with your GP, and if you need any specific care, they will refer you to a specialist and also write you a prescription. So So it is one of those things that when you are ill, that's the last thing you want to be worried about. That could add even more stress and prolong your illness. So the fact that you don't have to worry about that in the UK is A+. So the food, no, this isn't a huge one. While their food can't really be compared to the US food, it's not that bad, and they have made great strides to bring a lot more variety, tasteful variety. I'm starting to see a lot more sushi, Japanese, Mexican, American style restaurants. I think variety is good. It just shows that yes, it is truly an international city. So don't be afraid to try the food. Another thing about the food here is that it tends to be more healthy. So a lot of people here, and not just based on the food that they serve, yes, that tends to be cooked in a more healthy manner, but also people tend to look at food in a different way than they do in the US. For example, I have a lot of colleagues who will just bring produce and chop it up and eat it. It's not a need to really cook or mix in a lot of like cheese, butter, oils, or all that kind of unhealthy stuff. So it's good because some of that rubs off on you. Not all of it, but one of my absolute favorite things about living in London is its proximity to the rest of Europe. You can go to Spain, Italy, France, Germany for less than $100 for a round trip flight. Like, that's like, what? And I think the culture in the UK is more of a work-life balance. We get 5 or 6 weeks of holiday a year. People have the mentality that you have to travel. That's a part of like get up and go. And I think because Europe is so close, that it makes it affordable and accessible, which are two really important things. Because I love to travel, I'm an explorer by nature, kind of like to be taken out of my comfort zone. I need it to live like air. Anyway, that to me is one of my absolutely favorite things about living in London, and one of the things that I would be depressed and just hate when I have to move. Space, smaller living quarters. So my humble abode, I do mean humble, is quite small. This is pretty much it. It's a compromise. In order to be able to travel, in order to be in an awesome city like London, of course, you're not the only one that wants to be here. London is pretty low in terms of vertical construction or development. It's not like New York City where you have skyscrapers and high-rises all over the place. A lot of the house conversions are made into several apartments, or the rooms are rented out to where you have not roommates, housemates. Oh, flatmates, I'm sorry. Essentially rent a room. You don't have to know the other people in the house. The landlord is responsible. You become best friends with your new housemates, flatmates. That's the most economical way of living in the city, even as a professional. A lot of professionals have flatmates. I live in Zone 2, not too far from central London. I wouldn't trade this for anything. I consider myself really, really lucky. I really lucked out. It's because I got scammed, but that's a whole nother story. That's for another video. And if you are in the market for some tips and tricks on how to maximize your space and also some great products, you can check out my blog. I also have a store at www.flat54.co.uk, which is a curation of all the products that I come across that I feel like are suitable for a small space. There's so many different designs and pieces out there. Sometimes you need something that's specifically for a small space. So that's where Flat 54 has come together to curate all of those products in one space. So it's the place for your small space. So check it out if you have time and let me know what you think. The seventh thing is the weather. That's another thing that you have to get used to. It just sucks. Plain and simple. I hope you found those really useful. I think it's definitely worth a trying something new and embracing another culture, it's something that changes the way you view life. I wish you guys well. Thank you for watching the video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up or a comment. If there's any part of the video that you would like me to go into a little bit more detail on, definitely give me a shout and let me know, and I can do another video on that. But thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed and have a great day. Bye.